Dress
39,
it.
58. Undress it! Undress it! So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go into another breakdown. Once Ash gets here, we're gonna do all of Mustang stuff probably. Because they did their month one stuff already in private channels, but they need to do all of their month two stuff, so I know Ash is gonna love that coming in. Or we'll just give them more time after session. I don't know. We'll see as things go. But besides that, I think we have what was it? The Hermarill, yes. You were looking for the siblings, and I wanted to save the mage meeting for tonight as well. Okay. All right. Just to skim over very, very briefly, the majority of people for their second month just spent the majority of their time researching. Guys started to actually leave the city and look around nearby areas and villages because they're only the main cities are actually marked on the map. There is smaller settlements and there is smaller gatherings of folks that are especially traders. You're gonna find a lot of them going to and from Fortuno. As for those who have read the RP channel, is one of the biggest merchant cities inside of the current world. Um, and also, you got a lot of job offers that you guys can think about separately. I know specifically Mustang has some. I know Duradon has some. And we'll come to see if any cross the other two's path once they get back. Um, but you spent a lot of your time just testing the waters around personal topics, looking around vampirism, looking around hemocraft, looking around the city's history, looking for the Rennells, looking for basically any kind of social gatherings and circles to try and look for rumors and try and look for any potential quests or just jobs to get in the general area while you're waiting around for the item to be done. Uh, and of course, the main thing that we need to settle is the child who went looking to reclaim the memories of which he will get when he reaches adulthood, but has decided that fuck it, we ball. Mama didn't really raise no one because Mama wasn't there, but Grandpapa ain't raised no bitch. Um, so we're gonna pick off tonight with Mammoth. I'll give you a little reminder there. You went out into the woods, closer to Speranza than Relen. It was about like 26 miles out. And you met with Finch, a large Forbolg man. Also, yourself, because he is in fact your previous incarnation, a Star Druid. And you met his daughter, Barbara Van Dyme, and you met their traveling companion, Darius Duvall, which, if Mammoth remembers correctly, was actually the mercenary's name that you gave to get into the city. So that further questions down the road. But you met up. You actually fixed up his house, which was hilarious. I don't know what I was expecting you to do for 3 days, but that was cute. Um,
Oh.
and during that time, or during the time after you met him, you went on like a little bit of a spiritual journey together where he was using commune with nature, and a few other spells to try and just reach out and look for a decisive path on how to get you previous memories. As he said, he was a late bloomer himself. He didn't really know too much about how his furbolgs age very slowly. They live to about, I believe, 700 years old. So he didn't get it until he was about 80 years old, 90 years old. And you are currently sitting at a whopping, oh God, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you said that you were like 12, 11,
8.
8. Oh, it's so much worse. The 8-year-old kills people. Um, the original thought was 9, but I was like, no, that sounds too young. Ryan surely has more morals for bringing a 9-year-old into this world. Nope, it's an
Sorry.
8-year-old, so that's worse. Um, the uh, the decision that he came to, or at least the method of granting you these memories, through the guidance of literal Mother Nature herself, um, was to bring you to the cliffside on a very early morning. You had stayed up majority of the night, and you could see the sunrise beginning. Um, and as you looked over the kind of darkened valley and mountain cliffs ahead of you, he pushed you and you fell. And you began to experience this vision of entering a near endless kind of crevasse where it is just complete darkness and stone around you. And eventually, after getting to what you presume to be the bottom, you met a familiar face in the form of Sylvanas. The same face that you saw back when you were meeting with the Savager, excuse me, back when you were meeting with the druids inside of the thicket, Ironwood Thicket, and now revisiting you once more is not in any way, shape, or form your creator, but to what you understand, the one who has been following your progress since you've been born. One of the more powerful deities who controls nature itself and made nature itself would definitely have an interest in someone who was born with druidic control of the stars. They explained to you that if you truly wanted to inherit the memories early, which was highly ill-advised, and he said multiple times that this would be a threat to your well-being mentally, it is a lot to take on. And physically, I mean, it wouldn't kill you, but it could leave you damaged. You decided that you could take it, and he turned you into goop. Um, the same form that we saw also back when you had that encounter with, oh gods, how am I forgetting the goddamn name of
Malar?
Malar? Thank you. I literally am staring at his picture right now, and I'm like, why can't I think of your goddamn name, even though it's somewhere buried in my notes? Um, After you got killed by Malar and you got reformed, you turned into that same goop as before, and you started to hear voices entering into your mind. Had you made a wisdom saving throw, and we're gonna be seeing the results of that tonight. Actually, wait, no, I take it back. 1 moment. Oh. Yep, no, we're good. So, as we pick up, currently you have no vision. You have none of your senses: touch, taste, feeling, hearing. Everything is just silence. Except for this near all-encompassing... It sounds like an echo. Something that is close, but it's not originating from anywhere. And you are very well aware that it is only happening inside of your mind, as you, again, have no actual control or sense of anything else except for your consciousness at this moment. And you hear this rambling, this quick, sharp back and forth of what sounds like to be 5 prominent voices amongst a sea of thousands of other voices, screaming, wailing, arguing, laughing, kind of just this strange mixture of both content, conversation, mixed with argumentative decision making, and finally the 5 that actually are audible to you beyond this vast sea of madness. You hear a conversation being played out, of which you don't know whether it is past, present, or future. But you see 5 individuals, not in flesh, uh, but in constellation. You see a mapping of stars communicating with one another, each slightly outlined with a figure to show what they potentially could have been in life, but very much so are in the night sky. And you can hear this following argument. You feel it, don't you? The body is beginning to resist. It wants to root, to spread, to find certainty. Remember what I taught you. Brothers, sisters, I should be the one to take control of this. They are clearly beginning to slip, and they are going to be arriving soon. And I truly apologize for the next couple of sequences, because this is going to be awful for everyone, including myself. And this is going to be a lot of dialogue. You hear in response this: you cannot endure it, nor can you hide it. You are not the one to do this. It has been millennia since you walked these earths. The realms have changed. The people have changed. The ways have changed. Allow me. He is not ready, I agree, but I have served, and I have shown my capabilities in the past. You are trying to win a war. I am simply going to assure the battle. Another constellation lights up. Roots, lashes, steels, beams, spores, blooms, whatever you want to use, call yourselves and your abilities in past lives. Everything is consumed in his wake. And while you're fighting with your breath in your hands and your heartbeats, he will simply coil around it until everything physical is gone, devoured. I'm one of the only ones that have seen the scales glimmer with my own eyes. Well, live telltale. We know that we know that's not quite the phrase, but I conceal him for that of which I'm certain. The fourth setters in. I don't believe any of this is truth, brothers, sisters. You call one another fools and arrogant, and yet you are bickering like children over who should inherit a body of which is none of yours, none of ours. Our time has passed, our decisions have been made, and our fates played out just as intended. The time has come for new leadership. Time has come for new choices and decisions. I agree he is not ready, but does not mean that any of you would be wiser choices, nor myself. And finally, you hear this kind of lower, bickering voice. I don't believe we should be the ones to decide this without hearing from the one who currently walks our path. We move, we endure, we see, and we watch. But only one of us walks the world of men right now, in these current times. Child, come forth. Speak your mind and share your vision. And you can feel breath return to you. Your senses begin to melt together, but you, for a moment, go through the reformation process. It is not one that you are aware of how it works or what is even being done, but your body returns to a physical form. And in front of you, in this darkened chamber, the sea of voices is drowned out and is no longer as loud and impeding, but now 5 motes of blue and pulsing light hover in front of you. You've returned to your form. What would you like to do?
Um, Hi guys. I'm Mammoth, but I guess we all are, sort of, kind of. Um, I don't super know what's going on, but I came here to gain the knowledge of all of you guys' lives, so hoping I could get that done.
You see the first voice enters once more. It is not your mind now, it is in the space, audibly echoing off of the cavern walls. He is not ready for this. I do not believe that he should have this sanctum, this shelter that we keep hiding him in will break eventually. The others will join soon. He will fall. And you hear the last voice to speak once more. It does not matter. He has chosen this. We are here. You will hear his voice, as all of us will. Child, why do you seek answers before your time?
Um, well, it feels like I'm about to get pushed into a bunch of crazy stuff, and I definitely don't feel prepared for that. So I figured if there's any time to get some help from people who may know best, it would be now.
Wise to consult previous choices to know where the next path lies. You hear another one bite. Like one of the motes, you see little flickers shoot out towards another, almost in discontent. You cannot allow such things to occur. You are breaking the cycle. This is unorthodox. I am aware that our choices in life are not easy. I am aware that our lives have complications beyond wildest dreams of mortals and men. However, you cannot give him this. We cannot allow this. Your mind will fracture and we will be broken. And you hear another voice speak up. We should, at the very least, to make this as smooth as possible, introduce ourselves before you drive the poor child to insanity. Fine. My name is Fanalor Briar. I come from the primeval age, bearing the circle of the moon. Same as you. I am the one who first saw this creature that I can tell currently ails your mind. When he first came into view of our realm, fracturing and rupturing our ways of life, I had to make choices unassisted from others. And I see how, and you see how the other motes all cut him off immediately. My name is Yasmira Velaforn. It's a pleasure. This is a very rare gathering where minds are separate, concurrent. I was the Whisperer Bro, the one who kept the clans together, united groves, and kept the world aware of what was to come, although I could not stop it. Another one goes, my name is Alora. Alora Everbloom. I was the founder of the Starfall Conclave. I was the one who had secured relics that I believe you may be searching for in the times to come. one of which I'd be happy to pass on, and the final voice cuts in. We cannot simply provide any guidance or any sort of privileges without agreeing unanimously. There are far more opinions than ours, and while we may be the most recent or the strongest of the foundations, that does not give us the right to overrule how our tradition has been passed along. And hear Laura speak once more. Tradition does not matter. If the world has no sustenance, no light remaining, tradition will be left behind, just like all the lives that will be stayed in the dark forever. Mammoth, what you seek is a great deal of knowledge that to be passed down in such a young age, in such a short time. Your mind would fracture, and it would break. Even the strongest of wills and the strongest of hearts, they may take blow after blow, but the mind is singular. It cannot heal the same, it cannot mend the same. Once it is broken, it cannot always be fixed. I believe your wisdom to come to us should be rewarded. If you seek guidance, we will provide. But to give you your birthright early could mean certain death, or at least doom your future self.
I mean, I don't want that.
You come here seeking answers. You come here seeking knowledge. What may we provide?
Uh, well, I was kind of hoping you could tell me.
This resolve, excuse me, this revolves around the serpent, correct?
Yeah.
The Star Devourer. He is not yet awakened. His slumber will soon come to an end, yes. But you do have time to take action. Here, Lord, cut it. We were not given this guidance. We were not given these blessings that you seek to bestow. And yet we all made the right choice. If we tell him now, and he ends up following our actions, we are accountable for any failure or success that is to come. What if we tell him to gather the ruins? Even if he is successful, and you hear again the Ysmira cut in. It does not matter if he is successful. All that matters is that we provide ourselves with the very thing that we are not often granted. A helping hand. The orb kind of flickers and pulses, and you see Ysmira goes. You seek a way to defeat the serpent, or seal him away. Many of us have tried before and failed. We have found various methods to keeping the creature at bay. None of us have been able to find a permanent solution. At least none that has worked so far. Do you wish to end him? Or do you wish to try and seal him for this lifetime?
I mean, ideally, I'd like to get rid of him for good, but maybe I could start with just sealing him.
There are runes that you can find in the world, carved by the Grey God, our creator. They were placed here for various parts of the world to mark his foundations. As part of his finalized work, he left us with those as an inheritance. For if we ever needed to defend the place, the world that he made, we could tap into those runes. That is how I sealed away the serpent in the past. Hear Laura speak up. The runes are not the only solution. They come with a great toll. What they do not mention is that they physically use you as a conduit. All of the enemies that runs through this world naturally, all of the magic, all of the mana that resides within your body would be used as a sort of battery to release such energy at once. It could kill you, or it could very well leave you in a state very similar to that of Finch. As you have met one of our recent selves, he can no longer call upon the stars. I would not wish that for you. Vanilor speaks up. Or if you seek to kill the serpent, I can advise gathering your allies, as many in number, and unlike the previous fools who helped seal or kill the gods' avatars away, use their strength, form an alliance as far and wide as you can gather people. Call upon the World Tree, not just for its memories, but for its strength, and use its roots as the very weapon to end the serpent. We may wield bows and spears, but we can only inflict the tiniest of scratches, if you can even call it such. Together with greater powers, there can be a permanent solution.
Pretty sure I have a bow made out of a World Tree branch.
You see, Thornvale speaks. Whether you have a bow made of it and using the World Tree itself is different.
That makes sense.
The branch is but a tiny aspect of a being that stretches out across the very realms. Its roots tear through the skies and into every possibility and every plane of existence. There could be a great toll for wielding such a thing as a singular. But if you could find others like you, not of those bearing stars, but of your awakened strength, perhaps they could aid as well.
I've got a bunch of those guys. We're all friends.
Vanillor speaks up. I rode with my friends, my family. We streamed across the night sky, leaving a trail of stardust behind us, headed towards the heavens to face him. I lost many, and countless more lost everything that they cared about. Sealing may be a safer option, for if you bring his ire and you can't defeat him, you are dooming this world and everyone who lives inside of it. Ysmir speaks up. What I would offer is this. Child, live, grow, become stronger. When the time arises that you need us, you may call out. We may answer. The pathways have been placed before you. We cannot make the choice for which one you walk. The world runes can be used. Seals can be placed. The world tree can be weaponized. And you can find far more options on your own as well. I am sure of it. The wisdom and guidance that we get once our memories returns, it will grant you peace. It will grant you knowledge. But I cannot in good faith give this to you now. We cannot give this to you. Allura speaks up. She is right. If we give this to you now, you could lose your connection, your mind, everything. But by the guiding hand of Sylvanas, I am certain if you call for us, we may answer. Even if it may be only a few voices, I am sure we can help.
Okay. That sounds fair.
Stay strong, Mammoth. You will find your own path. You will grow, and you will see the day done. And I am sure your success is only an inevitability. You see all the motes spark and begin to flicker out. As they do one by one, snuffing. You see the slight smirk of a face fading into the dark as Sylvanas' form disappears into mist. And you wake up. Sitting on the edge of a cliffside, Finch next to you, kind of holding your shoulder with a very firm grasp on his hand. You see around you, there is this kind of growing, jetty's not the word that I'm looking for. But that's what's going to happen. because I can't think of anything else. Uh, this is kind of like growing jetty of rock, stone, and a mixture of fines and brush that have pushed themselves out from the mountainside and formed a further cliff face that you are currently separated from the main mountain from right now. As you open your eyes, he smiles and goes, "Well, I'm sorry about that, bud. I really didn't want to have to do such an over exaggerated maneuver there, but I feel like if I tried to put you in the right state of mind so the trance could be entered, it would have to be something real brutal or real stupid. And that's the best I could think of."
That's all right. I get it. Stuff
Oh,
is weird sometimes.
but how did it go? What's the verdict from your old well, us?
Well, they wouldn't give me my birthright, as they call it, but they said I had a few options and that I could go use the runes to seal him, or I could try to get a bunch of people to kill him for good, and that I could ask for their help if I needed it, and that sort of thing.
Oh. Well, I never really gotten an answer from previous lives before, but that's pretty cool. I hope it helps there, bud.
I think so.
Fantastic. Well, if there's anything else you need from me, let me know. We're gonna be passing through these parts in a few days, but you're welcome to stay with us until then.
Um, I think I better get back to Relan and regroup with my friends.
All right. Well, safe travels, little friend, and remember, puts his large palm on your shoulder and giving it like a little squeeze. You'll always be one of us. Get it?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right. Oh, get down safe, kid. And he stands up and begins making his way back over to the lodge. Mechanically speaking, uh, you rolled high enough to maintain your sanity. You did not roll high enough to get your actual birth rate immediately, but what you can do is um, we're going to allow it to only once per day. You may straight up break fourth character and just ask the DM a question of whether you want a specific guidance from your past life on. It can it can be used on any check involving history, religion, nature, arcana, anything that would be relevant for your previous selves to have known or experienced. It is only the five archdruids who are remaining inside of your head that are going to be guiding you. It's not going to be all of your lives, but you will be able to gain that benefit once per day to essentially give you an edge on the check, help get you to what you need to get. I did say an edge. Oh my god, draw steals infected my mind. It will it will grant you a bonus to your roll. It'll be a +5.
Neat.
So make sure to write that down somewhere. You can just call it Ancestor's Blessing. Uh, I will certainly help and remind you throughout that path. But that is but one of the things we're going to resolve. Do let me know, obviously, because you did walk out of this with your mind and body intact. Um, you can, for the sake of sakes, unless it involves other people and you want to do it tonight, if there's anything that we'd like to use with the second month that you have. Oh god, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, no, you still have the full 2 months to do for the next upcoming one. The upcoming check is going to be made tonight. So you got 2 months to burn. Whether you want to try and make another spell, try and do anything else, or investigation, researching, wandering, up to you. You can put that in private channel if you want, or do let me know after we get to the other things that need to be resolved.
Okay.
But we had some questions that were put for the original first 2 months that went by that I'd like to do next. Duradon, you had asked that if you were going to research the Black Heart, you would like to wait until Xyrus would be there.
Yes.
We're going to get to that. So this is going to be it's not necessarily going to be a retcon, it's more going to be a timing issue. As you are not going to be able to do this essentially until he completed the first check. So this would be prior to all the second month activities that you have already asked to do. This would be either the first thing that you do, or if you want to wait until he does the check again tonight, this will have to be the second thing he does after whether he fails or succeeds on the attempt. So do you want to do it first before you do anything else, or before you go wandering and looking for all the other information, or do you want to do it at the very end after the finalization of the item?
Um, leave it up to the guys.
Just in case you want to leave more time to research it, study it, and, attempt to do things with it, or if you want to just have the knowledge on it.
Uh, I'll, I'll do it before then. As one of the first things I do. First.
Okay. Also, you are a little far away.
Motherfucker. Ah, there we go. Okay.
There he
I'll,
is. Listen.
I'll always forget it.
It happens. So, we will go over to you. This is after you have already looked up all of your Hemocraft books. The first attempt's already been made, and you are taking, essentially, you're adding a day to the 2 months. I know, a whole 24 hours. Woo! But you go and ask for Torin. Um, and what specifically would you like to ask?
Um, is Xyrus present, or is this just me getting to talk to Torin?
I assume at this point you've requested for Xyrus's presence, unless you don't want her there.
I don't know. He wants her there because mischief is in Xyrus.
You're
But also he only really Xyrus is a cleric, and then like this is a scary thing for him, so he didn't necessarily want the other party members involved.
for sure.
Um, he's while they're both there, he's going to go to Torin. He's gonna say, "Hey, I know you probably just got done achieving one of the greatest magical feats of this time. Um, but if you are not completely exhausted, um, I have a favor I'd like to ask. It's more personal than business, like the other requests that I've had."
The item is not done yet, but sure. What can I do for you, Duradon?
Um, so the rest of my party doesn't know, and if it's okay, regardless of how this conversation goes, I'd like to keep this between us, if that's possible.
I, I will be honest with you, as I have always been. It greatly depends on what you tell me, but I will do my best to follow such request that you have put forward.
Fair enough, I guess. Um, Back in our time, before we got the luxury of um being sent here, we tried other ways to fulfill requests for uh mischief. And in one of those requests, I died. And by all means, I should still be dead. Um, but my sponsor at the time, um, she did something to me. I accepted I was desperate, but there's something inside of me that isn't mine or isn't natural. I don't mind that it's there, but I'm trying to do this thing where I'm bettering myself and trying to um, understand my limits and how to break them. And I can't do that if I don't know what it is she placed inside of me. Um, my heart was gone, taken, um, violently ripped out a predatory, a very effective kill for a predator. Um, and she gave me a new one.
And you wish for me to simply confirm that it is not a threat, or you want me to examine it physically? Because that would require cutting you open. Of which I will have to advise you, I am not a physician in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's actually why I wanted Desirous to be here presently, as well.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
um. Okay, so you're asking me to cut you open so you can see your own heart, so he can see your heart.
I mean, yeah, I mean, eh, I've tried to spend nights with it, and it doesn't it doesn't feel the same as the magical implements that I put on. I know they're items, and thus making the connection with them is easier. But this
Ah,
thing feels
I
different.
see. So you don't seek to. I understand. You simply wish to understand what is inside of you. You aren't looking to try and push yourself past needing a heart. You had me going for a second. You said push barriers and then started talking about a heart. You can have a magical heart transplant, but it is not advised because you become a construct and it's a whole ordeal.
No, I don't want to remove it. It's the last favor that was
I
done
understand.
for me. Yeah. But understanding.
Listen,
Yeah.
you have to understand one thing. I can do this for you. I can identify what it is, and I can ensure it is not a threat to you in any way. Or I can certainly tell you any underlying properties it may bear. That I can do. Um, what I can't confirm is that if I touch it, and you said it belonged to a sponsor, I'm not quite sure of who or what that means to you. Um, if he's a very powerful being and they place something on it, I just want you to know I will not take liability for that. Because if I cast Dispel Magic to try and remove any traps, it could kill you. So it's not exactly I can just go around, tampering with it freely. So it could come with a little bit of risk. It could react to magic with the identification spell, but I'm willing for, if you think it is important enough to know what it is and to know why it is there, I'm happy to do it for you.
Well, I think it's important to know, and I trust Cyrus, and she has to trust you. So by proxy, two are the people that I trust the most.
Very well. Um, Lie down. Ian, and you see a few moments go by, you hear like a thud, and coming out of invisibility, you see Ian goes, "Yes, I go ahead, grab some of our cutting implements for stonework. Bring them in here. Bring me a. I do not have medical tools, but bring me that we normally use for incisions on leather. And he looks and he goes and looks at you like a kind of like a cheeky smile. And he goes,
Yes.
"Bring some." And he very quietly whispers something into his ear. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Actually, you know
Game.
what's your passive? Is your
My
passive over? It's
23.
ridiculous, right? 23.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, he whispers to Ian. You can just barely hear. He goes, "Bring him some spice too while you're at it. He's going to need it for the pain." Um, and you see, he kind
If
of looks at him, smiles and nods, and begins to walk out of the room to collect
if
the implements.
Jordan hears that, he's gonna say, "No, don't. I technically have to be clean for other arrangements. I can withstand the pain."
Ian kind of pauses and turns back, looking for confirmation from Torin. Torin, oh boy. Uh, all right. You have probably experienced a number of painful experiences, especially since you have died before. But I'm going to literally be touching your heart while you are alive.
I had somebody rip it out while I was alive, so it can't be any more painful than that, right?
I guess we will see. Yeah. They go and they essentially grab like it's not quite a scalpel, but it is like a small, kind of more surgical blade that is normally used to cut through leather hides for precise cuts when making like clothing and armor. And you can see he goes ahead and clears off one of his lab tables, one of his in the workshop, puts down a kind of essentially diner, a fucking dining cloth on top of it. Um, He has you lie down. He puts pillows on both your feet and head to keep you elevated. Um, and he goes and is like, all right, just go ahead, take off everything above the waist, please, and remove any jewelry and unnecessary items so that does not get in the way. Um, Cyrus, assist me with this. And you see Cyrus goes. She looks at you and she goes, Zerdon, I'm going to stab you upon your request. We need to have a conversation about how comfortable you are with our dynamic after this. And she takes the cutter's blade and just begins to slowly poke it, not even like a quarter of an inch into your flesh. It begins to slowly make a cut straight across the right pectoral, and then deepens it and deepens it, and then she's casting cure wounds during this process. It is not to close the wound, it is to essentially help she's trying to stop the blood flow from this area by keeping her hands inside of you and casting cure wounds on either side of the wound so that they can open up a viewing port without an enormous amount of spray going both on her and Torin and also killing you in the process. So this is like cut an inch, heal, cut deep, heal, cut heal, repeat. Just go ahead and give me a few Constitution saving throws for me.
Got you.
The first one you can make at advantage. We're gonna make two more straight afterwards.
Got you. The first one at advantage is going to be a 20.
Okay, good. You're just looking to beat a 12 on these.
The second has a straight roll. It's 21. Thank God.
Good.
The last one Natural 20 for 27.
Fantastic. So you don't succumb to the pain. You remain conscious through it, and you can feel you are taking damage. 100%. The cure wounds is not going to keep up all the way, and you're going to be bleeding out. So for the first minute of this, you will be taking. Um, Call it a nice little 13 points of damage. Um, as the cut is made and finalized, she takes Torn assists with it. She takes clamps on the other side and peels your skin back. It is beyond excruciating, and you have prepared yourself for many things. Being cut by a halberd, being stabbed by a dagger, or even being hit and having your bones break by a maul are all so foreign compared to the pain of having your literal skin being peeled off of your flesh. Your muscle tissue, and you can feel all of your ligaments, all of the bones that are not being cut or fractured with, but are having the skin and muscle pulled right up against, are fully like you are aware of everything inside of your body right now to a degree where it feels like you are going to pass out. The natural 20 is purely you are given a um, you're given a stick with a leather wrap around it, and you are biting down as hard as you can, and eyes closed, just kind of trying to maintain a state of calm and not go into a rage and not go into like any sort of violence. But you can feel as Torin stands over you. Kalima rips it hard out now. He he has a face of awestruck, kind of just frozen in time for a moment before he reaches his hand into your flesh, with Cyrus's assistance parting it. And there is wonder in his eyes. He begins casting. It will take a minute. Go ahead and give me another Constitution saving throw. The DC has gone up to an 18. This is raw, no advantage or anything.
Gotcha. That is going to be 19.
19. Cool. You take 33 points of damage.
Gotcha.
The blood is being spewed onto the table, onto your chest, onto Cyrus, onto Torin, but he reaches his hand down deeper and deeper. And you can see as he does, he begins chanting, he begins focusing. He closes his eyes, and you can feel the pulsing of your blood and the pulsing of your heart rapidly flowing. And this is the first time that you have ever felt. Because before, when you were stabbed, you died. You never felt the heart leave your body. You were dead. You physically feel someone holding it. You learn something about it immediately because you can't really see inside of yourself. But when someone's holding an object and you can feel your internal organ being held by someone, you can get a little bit of the kind of a secondhand shape with how it contorts and how it contracts when it's pulling in blood and releasing it. It doesn't feel like he's holding a very spherical object, or at least it feels a little more spherical than it should be, rather. And after a minute goes by, he wrenches his hand out of you, and Cyrus immediately takes off the clamps, pulling your skin shut, and begins just pumping healing spell after healing spell after healing spell after healing spell. for all intents and purposes, she does use free. I know it. We'll do 2 4th level cure wounds and 1 3rd level cure wounds as well. Just to be safe. 8 plus 4. 30. Okay, so you get back to your hit point maximum after the first 2, but it is just, you can see like a little bit of sweat on her brow as she is just very uncomfortable with literally stabbing you and cutting you open like you're some sort of experiment or lab for a very fucked up and twisted wizard to stare into your chest. Torn looks at you. The pain doesn't subside. You can still, it still very much feels like he is holding something inside of your chest. Your blood continues to rush and flow. Your heart rate begins to slightly diminish. But there's a very cold air that enters the room. And there is a even more uncomfortable silence. As Torin just stares kind of into blank space for a moment.
So, what is that? Is it good or bad? What is it?
Tell me, who was this person that gave you this?
My sponsor?
Who was the person that gave you this?
I'm not mistaken. It's Evelyn Kroll, right? I'm not.
Correct, it was Evelyn Kroll.
Okay, cool. I was like, I remember my sponsor's name.
No, you're right.
A woman by the name of Evelyn Kroll.
Do you know what this Evelyn Kroll is? Did she ever divulge anything to you?
I mean, I saw that she was something different. I don't know that. I mean, the one time that when she did the heart thing, I saw that she was something different, but I never. I don't think she ever told me what she was, or I didn't have the time to ask.
I see. And what was your relationship with this woman?
If I told it, I feel like I was one of her most loyal and fairly competent. I don't know, what are we called? What were we called back in the old world?
Vassals.
Vassals. Vassal. He nods his iris and thanks her. Um, I was one of her most capable vassals. Anytime she called, I did the mission to the T. I didn't pry in her business. I made sure to maintain a great rapport, and she was almost like a she was almost like a mom or a caretaker in a way. Um, it was professional, but it was cared about me to some degree.
I was expecting to find a prosthetic. Ah, Ian. And you see he gestures over to the other room. Um, Second shelf on the right. Grab me major image, please. And Ian kind of nods and runs, and you can hear him rapidly and kind of bumping into things as he goes to unlock one of the bookcase or the display cases and starts shuffling through spell scrolls before coming into the other room, presenting it to him. The Hold the fuck on. Let me skip that fucking shit. You see, he goes, I am going to show you this so you can understand what exactly I am seeing. The nature of this item, it is not the correct term for it. This Evelyn Crow, whatever her relationship was with you, this is one of the highest forms of entrustment I've ever seen in another creature. She's clearly otherworldly in nature. I don't know to what realm she lies or belongs from. I assume it could potentially be the Shadowfell. It could be the Abyss, the Hells, potentially. But when a being of such power inhabits a physical body, they have to give a part of them to the physical form to remain for longer periods of time. If it is brief divine intervention, they don't have to. But if they're looking to settle, or if they're looking to try and exist, to see a cause done, to stay longer in a world for whatever desires they hold, they have to put a physical part of them into the world as well to do so, of their original body. From what the identify spell has told me, and this is by no means am I telling you everything, because this is beyond such a low in a simplicity of identify. She gave you her heart in a very literal sense.
What? Your
This-
This is a joke amongst mages, right? She
And he begins to cast, and you see as the spell scroll dissolves into fire and ash, as a major image appears into the room of a black, swirling sand like void that turns to liquid and moves and contours to the form of a human heart beating and then unforming and beginning to recircle around a core, a white, burning core of energy. To give you a visual. I I don't believe I have run into this many times, if not at all, in my own life, in my various lifetimes. Many people before the divergence got gifts, blessings from the gods. It is how they chose their favorites and kept their religion alive. They would choose miracles, they would choose times and places for things to happen. They would give holy weapons and relics to people. But they would never give themselves to people. While it does not give them control over such a powerful being or deity, it is undeniable risk. If you were to fully fall victim and be destroyed while carrying this, they would forever lose a part of them and would be unable to form their physical self in any realm, never mind this one. It is a great honor and a very severe task to wield such a item in your, it's not even an item, an aspect of the person on you. Closest example I could probably think of to better explain this is if someone was to convert, uh, they say the average lifespan of an elf is, what, 700 years? Maybe a little bit more for certain species. If they were to give 500 years of their soul and its experience over to you to use as a source of energy to keep you alive.
Why would she do something like that?
I can only assume there is no other way because it is not something done lightly. If you want, I do have access to 9th level magic. Uh, I I say that in the wrong manner. I am capable of retrieving a scroll that would be able to give you that answer. But that is quite costly to do. So if you have, I would be willing to split the difference if you would like. I know I have a large, normal sum of gold that I do not often use. Let me mull it over. I can get back to you. I could potentially try and show you the vision of what could have happened using a certain spell. It is just the components are beyond expensive due to its nature.
I'd be very grateful if you could. I also understand if you couldn't.
Give me some time. I will try to acquire it. Out of sheer curiosity's sake at this point, because you are a abnormal phenomenon, my friend, to say the least.
I get that an uncomfortable amount. Or
Well,
things
it's
like it.
probably because he's the truth. He gives you like a, in a very serious, intense moment, he kind of gives you like a soft smile. Yeah, let me get back to you. And he kind of rushes out of the room and disappears, and you don't see him for like a day. Um, which, in the meantime, you see Cyrus kind of turns to you and goes, "You are just like." You're like a bowl of honey, and everyone has a piece of warm bread they just want a little taste of. They want a little piece to go in and take a little bit of dirt on for themselves.
Thank you.
Shitty metaphor aside, dear gods, you have so many things going on at once. Get yourself together, man.
I cannot help it. I don't think I have a very unfortunate set of luck.
Listen, just for my sanity, however far gone it already is, do not go accepting any more deals. Do not go accepting any more bullshit hearts from other women. And do not go testing death any more times. Because if you continue to die and get random body parts replaced by a potential goddess, I will kill you myself.
To be fair, I didn't realize at the time that I was getting body parts from different people.
I have spoken. You have heard me.
Uh,
I am going to get you something to help with the pain that you're in right now, because even though I have cured you, you are very much still feeling all the effects of your wounds.
Yeah, I'm trying not to cry right now. That
Nope,
is.
tears are streaming down your face as we speak.
Oh,
Silently.
yeah.
Let me get you some alcohol. I have many different herbs and ointments that can help with the physical relief of pain if you wish.
Absolutely. If it won't. I think most of the things aside from spice are okay. For the arena.
People use. I don't know if it's. I probably can guess what type of drug he's referring to. Use small amounts in all types of different surgeries if they lack the ability to put someone to sleep or in a state of unconsciousness through magic. In normal amounts, yes, for sure, it will make you see things you absolutely should not and put you in a state of, uh, you know, hallucinogenic dreams, but we don't. That's another problem for another day. Small amounts are useful. So say yes to small drugs, say no to big ones. That's also not true, because smaller powders can also do the same thing. I'm mumbling. Let's go. Um, she, you essentially go get sloshed. You can mark off like a gold. Um, as she and you just go and spend a good few like hours in the tavern just talking and thinking life over while he gets you that scroll. In the meantime, hi Ash, you came in on a great point.
What the heck is going on?
So to give you the
Team is
mini me TLDR recap,
self-destructing.
yep, oh for sure.
This is what happens when you aren't here.
What have you guys done?
Kipley has done
Essentially,
nothing.
okay. To be fair, not a whole lot was done on his part. The TLDR of this session is that Mammoth went to go get his memories back. He met his previous incarnation called Finch. He's a big old furbolg. Um, had a dream, a kind of like dream quest vision. Met a few of his older selves, all archdruids. And they essentially said, "Hey, gang, if you take on the memories right now, you could physically break your mind, which would make you mechanically insane. Um, or we can just offer you some guidance of options to take when facing on the World Eater Serpent." Uh, and they just essentially gave him some advice, gave him some tips, and then he got a mechanical benefit where you can call upon those 5 druids once per day to try and get some answers on specific questions. And then Duradon decided that he was going to go look at the heart inside of his chest that he got on the Sky Swimmer fight. And you heard all the important stuff on that, so you don't need a recap.
Yes, good.
But yeah, my question for you, Mr. Stang, is you already gave me your first month's worth of stuff you want to do. Tonight we are doing. I'm resolving some of the second month stuff that people put in the RP channel. Do you want to just like privately message me anything, or if you have things already in mind, do you want to do some of that tonight?
No, I'll message you. I don't wanna screw up any of the plans here.
I mean, there is no plans. I'm going around in a random order, just resolving things.
Okay. Well,
Do
for
it.
the second.
Do it, Ash.
Oh, thank you for the encouragement. I needed after the day I had. Oh my god. Okay. So I think in the second month he would still be on his like super research pills and still trying to find out more about the spark and probably more about Yan as well. So we would spend that gold and to do that, and just taking like jobs, trying to get money for everyone and get stronger for everyone. And really, his focus is on everyone else and not himself as much. Now that he's discovered what he's discovered about the Primonica and stuff. and seeing what he can do for, like, if anyone else needs help with anything.
Okay, so you want to try and research the spark. Didn't you already try and research the spark? Am I
Well, we
crazy?
did the Harmonica specifically.
Right, and I think you did look into Jan as well.
Yes,
Right?
and I wanted to spend the money to look into that further because
Right. You said you wanted to wait on that. Okay, cool. Got you. All right, how much do you want to drop? Because keep in
for
mind, every 50 gold you can lower the. Because I'll tell you what Duradon did, because I don't think you were here.
mm-mm.
Duradon was researching Hemocraft. I told him it was a ridiculously high DC because it is in fact a very rare type of magic. And while it's not forbidden, there wouldn't be a lot of research on it. He bought
Ooh.
10 people for a day, which is 500 gold.
10.
Oh my god!
So if you have gold that you are comfortable spending, you can lower the DC by a reasonable amount. It's just 50 gold per person, and they will be assigned to you essentially for 24 hours for you to research topics on.
That's hilarious. My little research wage workers. That's so
Correct.
funny.
And they can also cast guidance on you for the D4.
Oh my
Obviously, that
god.
does not stack.
Okay, do I get to know whether or not this is a ridiculously high DC?
Oh, for the spark, for sure. It's not like insane because there is some common knowledge clearly in the world, but it depends on what you're trying to learn about them specifically.
I think more about the primordial plane of fire, how to get there, how to leave the spark there and come back alive. This whole dilemma that he has, promising to help
Okay.
this thing without knowing exactly what that entails.
So
Okay.
essentially, it'd be two different topics then. I'm going to have you do two roles.
Okay.
I'm going to have you do a Arcana roll for trying to essentially separate yourself from the spark. So that's what you would have to do if you're going to try and leave it behind this in the plane of fire. And then I'm just going to give you a general do a general history roll for the primordial planes and how to travel between them safely.
Okay, and I will spend. Let's see. He spent 500 gold.
That's because Duradon's crazy and doesn't have anything he wants to spend
Absolutely
money-wise
crazy.
anywhere else. So you don't have to do it, but like 50 gold already brings the DC down by 2. So it's not, you don't have to buy a lot of them. I just said it was an option because it's funny.
No, I like that idea because Mustang would definitely like obfuscate his responsibilities, and if he could pay someone to read for him, he would.
Oh boy.
So, I will allot 150 gold to this endeavor and another 150 to the Yan related endeavors.
Oh, you don't have to spend 150. The Hemocraft one, because it's so rare, took the entire 24 hours. But look, researching the primordial plane of fire won't take you the entire day. The spark is going to take the majority of the day, but you can do both of them in the same day. So 150 gold. 3 researchers.
300 gold then.
Hmm?
Well, we'll bump it up to 300 gold then. If I can.
Oh my god.
So
Mustang does not want to read.
Kipli is dying inside.
So yeah, we have. So you see, I have to just because the world. You go up to the front desk. You have permission to enter the archives for Tornsalir. And you see this tiny gnomish woman, kind of older, collecting her books. And you see she looks a little stressed. And she goes, "Oh hey, hi dear. What can I do for you? What are you looking to research today?"
Hello, ma'am. I'm looking to research something called the primordial spark, and among some other things. But
Do you require any research assistance?
Oh, great! Yes, that would be fantastic. 'Cause
Yeah,
I hate reading.
We can absolutely provide you with help. I will let you know the price is a little steep because our staff are very good at their jobs, and also they are taking all of their time to be allotted to you for the entire day. So if you want to research multiple topics, feel free. It is 50 gold per person. They do have it is very very respected academy that they all graduated from. It is right behind you. She kind of smiles and gestures to the academy behind you, and she goes, would you just like one to help you out? I can go grab someone."
While she was explaining all their credentials, he had already started like counting gold on the counter in front of her.
You just drop 300 gold, and she just
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, not again." Yeah, you just see she grabs a speaking stone and just Miles, Philia, Karen, and she starts listing off names. Just goes, "Can you come to the front desk, please?" And 6 workers all show up, and he goes, "All right, well, I good luck." "I'm so sorry." And she just whispers like, "I'm so sorry," to all the researchers who look deadbeat tired. All right, let's get it done. Go ahead. You can roll. Let's do the history first for getting to the primordial plane of fire. Because you got 6 people, it is a DC 10. Excuse me, DC 8. And you can make this roll with a D4.
All right. You guys can't see it, but I'm cracking my knuckles.
If you fail this, I have no faith left in humanity.
He failed it.
Are you serious?
No.
No, I'm
D-
so ass right now.
Did you roll a D4?
I'd still fail it with the D. Wait, no, actually, I might make it with a D4. Hold on.
Oh
I
my
thought it-
god.
Okay, we just made it with a 9.
Oh, you got a 4+1. So genuinely, here's the thing. I say this with all respect for the character that Mustang is. You don't read. Like in your previous history of being a cowboy,
Mm.
reading was never a necessity. You sang songs, you carried on verbal legends, and you like talking to people, but you were never a bookie. You were never a real reader person.
He's
And
verbose, not literate.
yeah, it kind of shows when you see all these researchers like doing 90% of the work, and you just kind of point out things of like, "Oh, look, like right here," and you're looking for like keywords, and they've already written it down and are like compiling, and they're like, "Very good, sir." Like, very
Oh my
tired
goodness.
butler, young child kind of dynamic. Um, cool, cool, cool. Uh, so with a 9, this is stupid. Here's what you at least you can get, because again, it's not too far out information for learning about the planes of fire or primordial planes, excuse me, and how to move between them. Um, Obviously, it comes to mind when you're moving between any realms at all that you should be using plane shift with a trusted caster. You see many records of people attempting to go to other realms in the past, and been using like hired hands to do it and being trapped in other realms. You see that there is many accounts of people putting together 2 bags of holding in an attempt to reach the astral plane when they could not cast the 7th level spell plane shift to do so, um, and being trapped there forever. Um, you
Mm.
see all these just various accounts of like failed shifting between planes. There is 2 ways that I will give you listed with a 9, because you met the
Mhm.
bare minimum DC. You didn't go beyond past it. You can use the spell plane shift. It will be a safe way of getting there. There is a chance that it will put you in a random part of the plane rather than like if you're trying to get to a specific place. It's same teleport rules. Or you can go and use a ley line. Ley lines are not nearly as reliable. However, ley lines are tied directly to places of power on the opposite side of the realm, which would be the plane of existence you're trying to go to. Not every ley line connects to every realm. You would have to find which specific ley line is connected to the plane of fire. And upon getting there, you would have to find someone that is capable of opening one up. There is many different casters who can do so. You would have to be able to cast the bare minimum of 5th level magic in order to do so, as you'd have to form a magic circle. But that past that point, it is doable. And you can do the same way to get back to any of the realms once you're there.
Hmm.
Now, just some general knowledge about the primordial plane of fire. It is home to, you do get the information, it's home to a place called the City of Brass. Um, there is a very popular kind of myth and mythology around the elementals who live there being able to grant you wishes and in trades of favors. There is also a very real notion of danger in the plane of fire besides the environment itself, so much more so that the environment is the least of your concerns, even though it will kill most people. Um, there is raging storms constantly, yes, but there is also very dangerous warlords that live there that use Jinn and elemental dragons merely as pets and playthings to do their bidding, and it is highly advised to not go unless you bring protection for the natural fire resistance of the realm, but also that you stay out of all major cities and settlements to avoid their ire. Yeah, there's a real nasty bottle of gin that really fucks people up.
Mhm.
Um, but go ahead and make me the roll on the separation of entities, merged entities. This would be Arcana.
Okay.
Now, the DC
Baby,
for
give me a
this
pair
is
of
going to be a
shoes.
little bit higher. Um, it's not insane because it's still only a 10, but, you know, I just want to warn you ahead of time.
This is a stronger subject for Mustang. He rolled
Good.
a dirty 20 with the guidance.
Fantastic. So, it depends on what type of bond you have with the spark. Now, you don't know. For a number of reasons, you don't know. Because, one, you don't know what the spark is. You still need to figure that out. In order that's step one to trying to get to this process. You need to figure out what physical classification of entity this is. If the spark is a construct, you can't exactly banish it because it won't go to its realm. If it's an elemental, there is a chance that if you can get it out of your body, either using Soul Cage, which you physically saw back on the ship with Newman, Sophia Newman using that. You saw um, the like when a soul of a body is sucked out, you can put it in a jar. That is another method. If it in fact is a soul, um, the separation of selves isn't the necessarily the hard part. It's retaining anything that you got previously from the spark that is the hard part. Because if you're as you're looking and seeing like all of these examples that they're giving you is like the purging of demons essentially. There's a lot of exorcism based stuff which you can it is completely understandable when people are looking to separate something from themselves. Um, there is extraditing as well that you find, which is the process of essentially creating an item in the image of the entity you're trying to get rid of from yourself, and using at the bare minimum 8th tier magic
Ooh.
to extradite the creature from your body and existence. Um, there is a high chance for failure, and you can die. If you need it to be assured that it can work, it has to be 9th level, and you have to have a piece of the creature and know its true name. Now, true
That's a tall
names,
order.
yeah, true names you know you've heard about through numbers of classic tales. No matter what you call yourself, when you are born, you are given a essentially classification from the universe, the world itself. as to what you are. Now, what you are doesn't affect who you are as a person, but is often led off of the type of person you are because it is burned into your soul. Um, it's also how demons control a lot of very powerful, higher ranking demons. It's just they just know their true name and use them in binding contracts so that they can't get out of it. Um, so you feel a little bit more confident in the fact that like if you ever go to the Hells, man, you got a really great way if you can trick like Asmodeus to say his name, or trick anyone to give them the location of where it's hidden because a lot of creatures actually hide their names once they know them. Um, but that's a little bit more dramatic, and you're kind of looking at your options. What I'll offer you as the advised form, getting to the plane of fire is the easy part. Getting rid of the soul that is potentially inside of you, because that's what your thinking is leaning more towards. It was called a technology, so Soul Cage probably won't work. If it is, because that card is a creature and not a item or entity, or excuse me, non-living entity, like a corpse or something. You would probably be best. One, you would have to undo the seal. I will tell you this: with a 20, you learn that you would have to undo the seal that Wave put on you, with the assistance of Sir Benjamin the Bard, Benji the Bard, Bernard the Bard, excuse me, not Benji. Um, and you would have to filter out the essence using a spell that exists, such as you could use Soul Cage and see if it works. You could also kill yourself, and not in like a blow my brains out, I'm dead. If you have a feeling, if you break the seal and somebody kills you, you could leave your body there and then transfer yourself over using the clone spell, as it wouldn't carry whatever's inside of that body with you. That's a little bit more niche, but that is also a fully viable method to get rid of anything that would have been stuck to a body.
But in the readings, does it say that the thing that is stuck in my body too would perish if left behind in my corpse, or is there a way to extract it?
That's kind of a hard point to gather because it's an entity by entity basis. Some entities can be known to be stored inside of items and live perfectly fine. You know, like a lot of imps and like a lot of like lesser creatures can be stored inside items and then summoned out later. Um, for being like the spark, you would have an inkling with a dirty 20 that essentially, if you want to try and get like the full aspect out and extract it, the best thing you could probably do is a mix of extradition and spellcraft. Like if you can try and essentially look through all the different spells that can affect souls and then mix it with a ritual of extraditing to fully get rid of it from you.
Okay. You got my work cut out for me.
Yeah, you have a lot of options, and that's the tough part. Like if it was just one, Mustang would probably feel better, but you really kind of have to find what the spark is first to properly get rid of it.
First step. Oh, he does feel better because now he understands what he needs to do to move forward, and that feels better than just staying still.
For sure, you have at least many different roads that you can start looking down.
But at least he can start walking. That's what
But yeah, you got 300 gold and a full 24 hours worth of pure research. Actually, no, I take it back. This is probably a 2-day operation, but the 300 gold will stay. The second day and the days to come after that is more you figuring out stuff one by one after people have already given you all the information you need. So it takes you a good couple of days to fully settle in, but yeah. Cool. Anything else specifically that you were looking for?
The jobs, the work.
Okay. So we will, because you're doing them solo, I'll do that in private channel.
Okay.
Just for the sake of sakes. But if you do have, I did put a I double check your private channel because I did ask you if you were trying to get any specific like clientele or anything like that.
He would
So just
definitely try and talk his way into getting some like better paying jobs if he can pay lip service to anyone who will listen.
okay. We will do those in RP to save time and to also give you more time to talk out where you're going and what you want to do.
Yeah.
That will fully be though, unless you rope other people in with you. You got 2 months. People could be free during that time. Most likely, you would be doing that alone, just based off of how other people are out and about.
Okay.
Just as a precaution for if anything does potentially lead to fights. Um,
I'm cautioned.
but we'll go from there. Let me quickly see. Megan, did I have anything from you that I said I would do this session?
No.
I'm trying to. I think we got for all your stuff RP.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. We'll open the floor up in a second for anything else that you guys would like to do in the next 2 months until that roll is over. But for now, to start marking things off of the list of Jared, we will go back really quick to you. To the Herma roll, because you were looking for the siblings and you did get a 21. So, Jared, are you back? You just said BRB like 9 minutes ago.
Do you want me to be
He might
Jared
be.
in his stead?
Yeah.
That
He might
chicken
be
Philly
gone.
probably came back again.
Oh no, round 2. Jared, Jared, fight for us, Jared. Hold on, brother. Don't let the Philly cheesesteak win. Oh, that's funny. Alright, what we can do besides that, though. Boo.
I'd for a Philly steak.
Dude, man, I like the just imagining it in my head. It's like I physically can imagine the consequences and I can feel it as I'm looking at it. But oh my god, I'd still eat it. I'm so hungry now. Mammoth. When you make your way back to the city, do you want to try and reconvene with anybody, or do you want to try and do any other solo tasks?
I was gonna just kind of, I don't know, hover behind whatever, like, just chill, like when Duradon is researching, maybe just chill there, and like same with Kipley and Mustang,
Yeah,
but I don't really have anything specifically.
fantastic. You're not required to do anything during this time for sure. It is just if you had anything specific, you are welcome to it, but you can absolutely just enjoy being alive and not hunted actively by other people.
Kipley would have
cool.
full on freaked out when she realized you were gone.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, for all intents and purposes, if you want to rejoin part of the party, because I don't think Kipley's necessarily planning on going anywhere. From what you described in the notes in RP, so you can kind of link up with Kipley and share some of the Duradon time while he is within the city, because Duradon does have plans to travel and go about.
I'll also be available for help if Mustang needs it with any
Yeah.
of those jobs.
If you want to go on a job with him, you can. If the old Stangster wants some company.
Father son adventure.
Yay!
Aw.
Father son adventure in the past. Why do I feel like that's a show I've already watched? I've seen this plot before. Nice. But we'll get to Jared's role We'll give that answer. If anyone else has anything that they want to do with another person, we'll get to that. Otherwise, I'll make the roll for Torin to see if he completes the item.
Do it.
Because right now we got a. Let me say. Where did I put that? God, I finally got the I don't know if anyone else uses the Google Docs extension that turns it into dark mode,
Yep.
but I finally got it and I finally got it working. However, now I do run into the slight issue where it's like my eyes are so used to being uncomfortable when staring at the dock that now when I look at it and I try and look for like specific information, I'm like, I made like the text is gray and I now have to change it back to white because I can't read any of it.
Yeah, I had to mess with like the contrast and the brightness a whole bunch because it was too much the other way.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird, man. Alright, let me see. I think I also put an NRP channel. Let me just double check. 6.5, that's right. So after tonight's roll, you guys will have essentially 6 months until the end of the year. Halfway done. God damn, Jared is fighting. I'm gonna ping him. I know he's fully probably fighting on the toilet, but I want it to be funny and say, "Are you alive?"
I mean, we can take like a 10-minute break if we need to or something like that. That's not a problem either.
Yeah, we could take like 5 minutes if you guys want. Reconvene. Yeah, don't fall in. um, let's take 5, and we'll get back, and hopefully Jared will be back, and we can do the siblings roll and go from there. Or if you want, we can just do the Torin roll now and then retcon back to Jared. Nah, let's wait for Jared.
He's typing.
Mr. Bloodright is typing. My goodness.
We all watch type with bated
I
breath.
know. This man's typing a fucking paragraph.
Can't believe how much you guys have spent on research.
You guys spent so much money. I'm alive and fighting. I didn't realize it had been 15. I'm on my way back. Okay. When I made... So, I do regret making it. I had to stick to my word. When I was thinking about how researchers would work, I was like, I could make it lowers the DC by 1. But I was also thinking, well, they're never really going to spend more than like 50 gold because that's absurdly high. So like maybe I will just keep it lowers the DC by 2 and gives them the D4 because I'm nice. And then Jared on day 1 of that being an option was like, let me make you regret that option to make the DC a literal 0. Paid 500 fucking gold for one topic. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
This is the most gold I've had.
Yeah, you guys are
This
rich.
campaign. And it was all from one fucking fight.
Yeah, I mean, you did almost die in it, so it was well deserved.
Did we? I thought we spanked that thing.
Oh wait, no, you were part of the Arcanolith fight. Yeah, no, you did fine. I'm thinking of Mustang and
Yeah, I got
and
beat
Mammoth.
up.
I'm almost.
They almost
It's a
got their
big
shit
one.
rocked. Duradon and Duradon and Mammoth fucking tore that thing's throat out. That's right. Speaking of Duradon and tearing things out, you good? You good, Jared?
Gross.
I want a new stomach. I want a new
What a
stomach.
new stomach.
Oh, fantastic. We were just wrapping up a bunch of roles, and I wanted to give you the siblings role information before we did Torin's what you call it, artifact roll for the night. So, You went looking for rumors. And specifically, you said you were looking for rumors amongst the upper echelon about awakened blades who are sentient and where you might find them and or where they had last been seen and rumors about them. Now here's the thing. This is going to be a bitch. A little bit of a bitch because it is going to kind of single out one option opposed to others, but I want you to know it wasn't planned, you looking for places that you were looking. The person you actually get this from is Nito Gorrag, if you remember. He is one of the mantles of the city. He's one of the few that doesn't use magic very often, and is purely kind of a swordsman. You talked to him previously when you first got here because you were yelling at an old fish man. Um,
Good times, good times.
Good times, great times. We love that. Never causes problems anywhere we go. Um, and he is a frequent flyer at the Bronze Brazier, as you could say. So as you're kind of amongst the midst of all of the VIPs, as just kind of chatting up in the VIP booth one day, you see he does go, you're speaking of sentient weapons then, right?
Yeah, I've been doing research and like sentient weapons are supposed to be crazy powerful and you know.
I mean, it really depends on like who you trap inside of a blade, but I've seen quite a few in my day. Not many that I kept with me just because it's kind of annoying having a voice in your head all the time.
I
I
mean, tell
mean,
me about it.
oh, that's something to unpack later. But a lot of people don't use them because they're either cursed or just like a big handful, and they kind of give you quests, so they don't do the things that they normally do or give you. But I did come across one that was very different from the rest. I never wielded them myself, um, and I'm very much aware that they have others like them out in the world. But there was a blade rumored to be able to um, control the winds, and someone was trying to use it to cross the remnants of ruin. Now, the last time that they went through there, I believe it was around Odia that they tried to leave port with. I never heard of them making it to Zentarin, so most people assumed that they had died and the blade had been lost at sea, which would be rather unfortunate because it's a very powerful artifact. Um, but, I believe someone recently said that something had very, very expensive and rare item had popped up in Fortuno recently after washing up on shore.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's the same blade or not, but it's all I got of recent news. Although I do have a very handsome rod of alertness that I could pass on to you that I used to use. But let me tell you, he'll tell you if you're about to get stabbed, but he will do so with great sass, and sometimes he won't do it just because he finds it funny.
I'm happy I let you continue talking because I was certain that was like
A
uh
pickup line? No, trust me, I get that a lot, but it is a genuine thing I have to live with.
oh
Council tried it a few years ago. They tried to make their own um, replica of kind of like edited versions of them. Yeah, no, the person they made it after was actually alive and inside the rod and didn't like being in there.
it's never fun.
But yeah,
Um, I appreciate that. I've like being with these the group that I'm traveling with. It's showed me that like I gotta up my game, especially being surrounded by all this magic and people that can do like unfathomable things. I mean, it may be a cop out in some ways, and of course you still gotta hone the body, but
My friend, respectfully, if you need to up your game, I think we all need to up our game because you've taken down some crazy shit seemingly by yourself. So I've seen you fight. You are one hell of a gladiator, if I can say so my fucking self. I don't know if I'd be able to get the same scrap looking as healthy and unbothered as you.
uh, that means a lot. When I first met you, you seemed like the type that that guy or warrior thing that happens. You meet somebody, you size them up not because you want to fight them, but
For
because the world,
analysis, yeah,
yeah.
I got you.
And I kind of had the same type of vibe that if we cross paths, I don't think my teeth would be as pearly white, and I I may not have all the limbs and digits that I started with.
You know, I would love to say that it would be a swiftly earned victory on my part, but that would be a very bold lie. Let's hope that day never comes. Just don't
Yes,
make an enemy of the city of Berlin. I beg you.
I promise you, I've had my fill of angering mages and the consequences that come with them.
It's not great. It's not great. No.
Sucks. It's absolutely terrible.
But if you do hear anything, let me know. Because let me tell you, if that is the Blade of the Winds, Durandale, that would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. If I find anything like that, I'm trying to find things that kind of attune to me or like be good with all different types of weapons. Um,
But if I
but
may ask, why specifically are you looking for sentient weapons? Because my friend, and he kind of like leans, he pulls you aside of the room because there's a bunch of like chattering nobles, and he kind of pulls you off aside and goes, "Let's be real with one another. Sword fighter to sword fighter. Sentient weapons aren't always the most powerful ones. Are you looking for the blades?"
do I, the way that he says that, do I think he's referring to the blades that I am actively looking for?
So the four swords that you are currently looking for are known as the Swords of Power. That include Clarent, and Wave in them. Go ahead, give me an insight check. Is a potential impression. But I wanna see if Durdun can for sure get it or not.
Alright, come on, don't fuck me here.
Don't fuck me, Gil.
That's 18 with Kipley. If Kipley still likes me at this given juncture,
Kipley,
uh,
do you like him?
Mm,
Sounds like a no.
yeah.
Yeah, go over me. Roll me a d4.
the reluctant. Yeah. Okay. 22.
Your talisman size, but it does work. um, yeah, for sure. You get the impression that he knows about the kind like the topic in the same way that like two young kids can find like the same fantasy story that they grow up liking. Like, oh my god, you like Percy Jackson books? I love Percy Jackson books. Oh my god, let's talk about these fake things that aren't real. In a very similar way in this world, Blades of Power, as you well know, while they do have historical events and are very much real, as you've met 2 of them, they're not by any means proved to be existing until you have met them. Like, you didn't even know about them before you found Herma. You didn't even know what blade he was or what type of weapon it is. It was just a random black blade that was stabbed in the middle of a massive celestial dragon. But you get the sense that he's probably at least heard of the Swords of Power.
Jordan will take a moment. Thank you for the talisman, Kipling.
Yeah, you do hear
Um,
the talisman goes, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome.
yeah, I will pat the talisman and mouth. Thank you. Oh my god.
And for the sword pull for the monster, yeah,
I will.
you kind of think about it. You give Kipley a lot of shit for dying a lot and doing everything on her adventure. She gave you the best weapon in the game.
Which, to be fair, I then paid back to her by having to sacrifice to make sure she got out
Oh,
alive.
for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. You are making your soul. Continue.
um, he will nod and he'll be like, yeah, I mean, I know it may sound idiotic and stupid, but I feel like
Listen, by no means. I've heard of legends. I grew up wanting one very badly. Swinging blades through the air makes you wonder how much of a capability a swordsman can get to before he can't, his sword sparks off a wall, or you can't really fight a mountain with a sword. So spells and sorcery comes into effect, but wielding something that was made from this world. I've always dreamed of seeing one. Wielding one, oof.
I can only imagine that it's. I don't know. Like, do you? I've always the stories I've heard. While they seem like amazing blades to be wielded, and just the 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 the, the kind of union between a swordsman that's peaked with what they can and this new echelon of power. I mean, I've always thought that the great aspect and the challenge of it was having something that clearly is far superior and always working to, I don't know, be worthy of it. And push yourself. I mean, we only the techniques we use, the sword craft, the things that we train with, we do so because we've been taught that the limitations of our body and of our craft exist within these portfolios. But if something can expand and make you more, open up options, what is the true pinnacle, and are the things that we thought foolish and impractical, were they right and we just didn't have the attributes to make it work? um I want something to be able to push me to be better than I am now, because what I am now is not good enough to protect what I want to protect. It's, I mean, in a theoretical sense, like
Yeah,
have.
purely theoretical there, bud.
Yeah,
Just gonna go ahead and just don't mind. He has good insight, man.
it's a guard. I would hope so.
Well, he doesn't have a high wisdom score, but because of his class, he does have certain expertise.
Like, is he a rogue?
Don't worry about it. Well, don't worry about it times 2 because he rolled 2. He just kind of looks at you and goes, "You, yeah. Theoretically speaking, it's very specific for you. Look, it's not about the weapon. You can train with all different sorts of things. You can try every single weapon on this plane of existence. It very much, you will reach a place, as I described, where you can't go past it without help. But you don't have to necessarily solely rely on something that is more than you to do so. While sentient weapons of power and myth and legend can certainly help, I mean, even reaching to parts of the world that maybe don't need magic, that still can affect the elements and control different aspects of things, it's still fully viable and clearly has worked on at least our realm before. Speranza's the biggest go-to for that.
Is that Esperanza?
Speranza,
Oh, Speranza.
a neighboring city. They pride themselves on their non-magical methods of ferromancy to control stone and the kind of earth around it. It's very much like, oh, look at us, we can do the one thing that you pride yourselves on doing that costs spell slots. I mean, I don't really use spell slots too much. I can do magical things, but I don't really need spell slots to do them, so I'm not as picky, but you know. Anyway. All I have to say to you, my friend, he puts a hand on your shoulder. If that is in fact a sword of legend in Fortuno, and I am stuck here on guard duty, so I can't get it, but you find it, I call dibs. And he smiles and begins to jauntily walk away. But with that resolved, because you did, if you remember we back up in RP channel, you did get a job offer in Fortuno.
I did. That's what I immediately thought about. Is
So you there is, if you want to look into that, that absolutely is an option. So keep that in mind. I will say, you are trying to recover that by yourself. That may be a trying to look to bring help sort of deal, depending on how you want to go about it. But I believe that is the majority, if not all, of what we were looking for tonight. So I think it's time for Torin's roll. And after this, we'll see whether or not the item is finished. And I'll go over a little bit of what's the next steps. And if it isn't, well, we'll see how much more time it's going to take to finish it and go from there. So, the DC, just out of fairness and time, does in fact go down by 5 every time that we do this. However, he does have a very high bonus. He has a plus 14 plus guidance. If there's anything else that you guys would like to give him for this, by the way, do let me know.
What do we
It isn't
need?
necessarily like a...
What's the DC?
35.
Okay.
So he does get advantage because Ian is helping him. All throughout the entire month, Ian is by his side. He gets D4 and he gets a plus 14. So we're looking at a plus 19 at advantage. He just needs a 16 or higher on the die. Is there a resource, or is there someone that is going to be willing to spend every day inside of the city and give him something every day to help with the check?
Can I use the the ancestors thing?
It's not necessarily a recall of information, it's a crafting check. So
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say they would be able to help with that. You would literally like if you tried it, they'd be like, if fucking fail or the sassy one just be like, what do you want us to do about it?
I mean, so
Like
is
we can
this
guide your information, not help some guy hit a stone.
like how long are we talking? Like, is this something I could give?
All 2 months.
Oh, okay, then no. Nope, I got
Um,
nothing.
well, if he needs it, then Mustang would be willing to forego taking on any jobs for the greater good of helping out make this device.
All I'm offering is if you think that you could be there every day to give him a bardic inspiration, and you're willing to mark that off and not go too far outside the city so you can continue doing that, that's reasonable enough considering you didn't give many other requests. It's just if you want to take a job that paid very well but had you traveling outside of Relon, he wouldn't get the I think what was it, D8 bonus.
No, he'd be willing to fall on the sword to help out and only take work in the city,
Okay.
minor jobs here and there.
Hey, if you're willing, he'll take it. So, I still give you the option to try and get to a higher job, but it will just be a slightly higher DC because you're looking for mage work specifically, and for a man of your talents, there's a few things that could be done. So we're adding a D4, a D8, and a plus 14 on this roll. So go ahead, Ash, roll me a D8 for what you're going to be giving him.
Aye, aye.
Let's have Megan roll me a D4 for the guidance, just for funsies.
4.
4 out of 4. Okay. Good start, good start, good start. What
I
are we
only got a
looking at,
3.
Mr. Stang? 3. So we're adding plus 5. So we're adding plus 19 to this roll. Dear God, modifiers adding up to the same. So plus 19 at advantage. We're trying to hit 35. Okay.
Wait, why are we only adding 5? Wouldn't we add 7?
Did I say only plus 5? Oop.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, gang. I'm mentally preparing math in a very wrong way, apparently. So that is, yeah, we're adding plus 7 because I can't genuinely do math. I think I was thinking of 35 in my head and was like, huh, that'll do. So we have DC 35 and we're adding 21. So you need a 14 or higher on the die to get there. You get 2 chances. And for dramatic effect, I will do it one by one. Dear God, seeing the plus 21 modifier is fucking insane. All right. To finish enchanting, so the item's already physically made. This is just the enchanting check to try and tie the item to not Zyrus, but Mischief herself. Let's see. That is a failure on the first.
Ugh.
D20 plus 21 on the second. That is a 32. Which
Yeah.
means the DC goes down by 5. We have to roll to see how many more months it'll take.
Come on, man.
Listen,
You're supposed to be the elite in this city.
you think it'd take a week? you crafted an artifact, man. That doesn't take a few days and some spin duct tape. You know what? I'll be generous. We'll do. Damn, even out of the 2 options. 2 more months. So what I will advise for this, just for the sake of so you guys don't have to keep making things up. I will not tonight because I crave sleep. I will provide you a list of things that can be done in the city. for both money that you can do together as a group and personal goals that you have now been given and where you can try and find them. Because you have a lot of things that you guys can do right now for a lot of both personal quests and actual storyline quests. You still need to find the world runes for Mammoth. You still need to find what you call it. If you are going to be trying to rally allies, you can try to rally allies. Duradon has the option to try and find a potential Blade of the Winds, which also hilarious that the name, by the way, because I'm going off of all of the old ancient names for the Four Blades of Power, which is Excalibur, Clarent, Durandale, and I don't know how to pronounce the last one properly because I'm gonna butcher that. Joyce? I'll call it Joyce. The one for air is literally called Durandale, which is pretty fucking close. You can look for the Blades of Power. Mustang, obviously, you have the spark and everything there, but also you didn't really learn a lot about Yawn or look for any specific things on Yawn, so you have that as well. In addition to all of the personal quests, depending if you want to look for quests for information, quests specifically just for money, or anything like that. And of course, Kippers, we have so many things that you can do. Gloaming Wildlands is still out there. Researching more about the Morgan and trying to figure out what you want to do in terms of the curse. There is a lot that can be done, but I will say, with the bonuses that can be provided, uh, this will be most likely, if not assuredly, the last check for the item, which means that by the end, you will have 4 months to actually try and finish the task. So we're going to call it a nice even 8 months that you guys have spent here. These will be the last 2 for all intents and purposes for if anything that you want to try in the last remainder of your downtime you would like to do. If you think of anything else, slap it in personal channels. I'll reopen RP going until next Friday. And we can handle anything that needs to be done there for minor things. If it is a quest that involves other people or is rather important or large, we will do it next session. But for now, I know it is a shorter session, but I think we'll call it there, just so we don't open up a whole new chapter tonight, and so that I may get my